Hello, my name is Emily Ellis, and today we will be taking a look at Scott City Elementary School and some of the whole district USD 466 data. And this data was found on the KSDE report card website, and we will be comparing it to some of the data from the state level. To start out, our mission at Scott City Elementary School is to prepare all students for their future. As of right now, we have 441 students enrolled, and that has been growing the last few years. Along the lines of preparing our students for their future, the Kansas Can State vision is to lead the world in the success of each student. And so Scott City kind of correlates with that because we want our students to be successful in their future, and so does the state. According to the KSDE report card website, there are 485,185 students enrolled. I thought it was important, even though I am in the elementary school, to look at the graduation rate of my district and compare it to the state level, because even though my students are several years away from graduating, I still truly believe that their elementary success is going to impact them and affect them in the future. Scott City's, this is a whole district we're looking at, 97.3% graduation rate, and the state is 86.9% graduation rate. So part of my future planning and continuous improvement is, how do we get this to a consistent 100%? I want to know what factors are here that are enabling these students to graduate. Attendance rates, I feel like, also truly affect the students' success now and in the future, because if you don't come to school, you're not going to learn. Scott City has 95.4%, and the state has 94.7%. So all those are decently high. I would like to see how we could get them up to 100. Students with disabilities. There are approximately 55 students in Scott City Elementary School with disabilities at 12.42%, and 69,964 students in the state with disabilities at 14.42%. I put this data in here because I think it is important that we remember these students that need extra help or extra planning, and they still deserve to have a successful future. So I want to look at this and make sure we don't forget that 12.42% in our school district, or our elementary school, sorry. Kind of along with the students with disabilities, I think it's also important to remember the ELL students. Scott City has a high population of those. In our elementary school, 27.34% of our students are ELL students, and that's good data to look at and figure out how we can make sure they're still getting what they need and they're still being successful for the future and right now, so they can feel engaged and understand what's going on and not feel let down because English isn't their first language. Where are we now? This is actually data from 3rd grade to high school, because lower grades don't take the assessment. You can see that Scott City USD 468, 3rd through high school, that take the math assessment, we have 35.1% on grade level, 7.7% above grade level, 12.5% below grade level, and 44.6% approaching grade level. So they're almost to this green area. And the state looks a little similar, except they have more in the below grade level and a little more in the above. But overall, the pie chart is relatively similar. I would like to see, which we'll talk about later in this presentation, this on grade level get bigger and below grade level get smaller, as would all teachers. Looking at the ELA data, again, this is 3rd through high school. We have 37.3% on grade level, 8.9% above grade level, 17.8% below grade level, and 36.1% approaching grade level. Whereas the state has 28.9% on grade level, 34.4% approaching grade level, 27.4% below grade level, and 9.4% above grade level. I find these two pieces of data, both math and ELA, to be very fascinating because I want to know more about who falls into each of these. So I think that would be interesting data to collect and interpret and analyze, because I want to know the demographics and the things related to these students. And I know I could have done that on the KSDE website. You can go through and click the different demographics and stuff, but I would want to do it on a more specific scale. For example, I would want to know specifically what disability the student had, and if they were below grade level. Do they have autism or ADHD, behavioral disorder? Are they blind or deaf, or those kind of scenarios? Where do we want to be? This pie graph to me is very pretty because I feel like as we push students along and get them to where we want them to be, this below and approaching, we still have problems closing that gap. So my vision and my goal is to figure out ways to create this green and close the gap. And it's great to have students above grade level, and they'll get there. And I think it takes a lot of different aspects for students to get there. And but I'm more worried about these below grade level and approaching grade level to get onto that grade level target. Scott City Elementary, again, aspires to prepare all students for their future, and I feel that closing the gap and getting the majority of students on their grade level will help them be successful, especially post-secondary. How are we going to get there? When I was creating this presentation, I just wanted to think of some initial steps, because this is not going to be a short process. This is going to be a continuous process. So the first initial step is to continue to collect data from students, staff, teachers, stakeholders, parents, guardians, community members, board members, everyone. We want everyone to be involved. Excuse me. This relates to the Kansas CAN vision also in the KISA model. Scott City is starting the KISA model with the one of the R's being relationships. So in these surveys, we want to collect data from everyone about what they're looking for and what they will be willing to do to build the relationship and to help students be successful now and in their future. The next step would be administration and leaders of the school will look into data warehouses such as eScholar to help organize data and make it purposeful and useful for student learning. We need a data warehouse in Scott City because we need to be able to look at data district-wide, grade-wide, individual student. We need to be able to pinpoint the details and pinpoint the problems we see so we can plan better for the future and the success of our students. Along with implementing data warehouses such as eScholar, training has to be provided. Teachers and staff will have the opportunity to learn about how to collect and organize data, interpret it, analyze it, and be able to use it in their classroom and not just say, here's this little thing, resource, we don't really know how to use it, but good luck. No, we're not going to do that. You are going to be trained, and you are going to be given time to meet and collaborate with others to discuss this data and see how we're progressing as a school, look where we're not progressing as a school, so we can continue to grow and reach this goal of where we want to be with our students. Going back to these surveys, a lot of them will be online for the ease of the survey taker. There will be options for the survey to be in different languages, and paper versions are available for people without internet access, but overall they will be online surveys.